Most shocking moments on Hoarders.
Amongst the things that I like to collect besides just the craft items is dachshund items. Almost anything red, white, and blue.
Between inside and outside, we're taking about 10,000 pounds an hour. We did it. End of day 4, we cleaned a lot of trash out, over 500 tons, which is 1,000,000 pounds. That's an enormous amount of weight. We didn't finish, but we did a good job. There's still a long ways to go, but the house looks great. I mean,
7 feet tall stacks of hoard in aisles? Leah admits that the condition of their house has become too much for even her, a hoarder. I genuinely don't think this can still be considered a house. It's an astonishing amount of hoard.
Okay.
Huh?
It's all right. I'm Leah. I've been married to my husband, Ken, for 54 years. We have 3 grown sons. And we're all just overwhelmed by the condition of our house. Come through the front door, that's our entrance hall. Off to the right is a breakfast room, but it's stacked up, obliterating the doorway. We can't get in and use it. Turn to the left and we walk through about half of the living room and then make a sharp right again over into the dining room, which heads into the kitchen. And off of the kitchen, there's a hallway that leads to the 2 bedrooms and the bathroom at the back end of the hall.
Ken, Leah's husband, reveals their house has hoard stacked up to 6 to 7 feet, all collected by Leah. Do they even breathe in there?
I'm Ken, and I'm Leah's husband. On the left and the right are just piles and piles and piles, stacked up 6 to 7 feet tall, of all kinds of stuff that Leah has purchased and piled. Some of it's usable stuff and some is junk.
Leah tells us she loves collecting different crafts in red, blue, and white. At least she's patriotic.
Amongst the things that I like to collect besides just the craft items is dachshund items. Almost anything red, white, and blue. It's part of my upbringing to be proud and of your country and respect it. It's mostly just stuff that I thought I would make use of and then didn't have an immediate use, so they got put in a pile. And then eventually something else got put on top of it. Then I forgot about having what was underneath and I couldn't get to it.
Dr. Robin Zasio, an extreme hoarding psychologist, is surprised no one got crushed to death by a hoard avalanche in Leah's house.
I'm a licensed clinical psychologist, and I specialize in helping people who are struggling with hoarding behaviors.
Heard you were coming.
Yes. Is it okay if I come in?
Sure, come on.
Okay. Leah opens the door, and I'm immediately struck by the amount of stuff. I'm thinking this is a miracle that there's been no fire and that no one has died in this hoard.
I try to only buy what I can have a place for and make use of.
And so let's talk about that in terms of making use of. This room goes probably at least 6 feet back. So when we buy things, typically we think, okay, I'm going to buy this because I can use it. I have an idea where I'm going to put it, that sort of thing.
Dr. Zasio tries to talk some reasoning into Leah, as Leah seems to have at least 10 copies of each hoard.
But all that stuff that is behind this wall right now, you don't have access to, right? What does all this stuff mean to you?
Much of anything right now.
She's thinking, I have a place for this, but there was no point at which Leah began to realize that I already have 5 of these, or wait, I already have a hoard in my house. I need to stop. And that's one of the hallmarks of hoarding disorder, is they lose that insight.
Corey Chalmers, an extreme cleanup expert, preps everyone for one of their biggest jobs ever. Guess Matt Paxton finally had enough and gave up. Leah, on the other hand, doesn't seem excited to get rid of all her hoard.
Leah, this is a big day for you. How you feeling? Leah, you doing all right? How you feeling today?
I'm okay.
What you want to be thinking about is, what do you and Ken need? Leah's body language is speaking volumes. Her eyes are closed, and she will not make any eye contact.
Like every other headstrong hoarder, Leah doesn't want to let go of anything. She even wants to keep a broken brick? This can't be real.
You want to put ice cubes in this to drink? More of these that you've drinking out of. So can we agree that anything that comes out of the house can go? You want to keep a broken brick?
Yes. I want to keep at least 6 of them.
Brace yourself. They're going to open the Pandora's box of every hoarder. Ugh, the fridge. Yep, the fridge didn't beat the allegations. Mold, insects, decomposed food? As disgusting as expected. And Leah still wants to keep something.
Come look at the freezer. We have to address this. I know you don't believe in expiration dates, so I guess what we're saying is you want to keep all this?
I don't know, but I don't want to take time right now with you guys here to do that.
Why do you want to keep this?
I use nutmeg all the time from Thanksgiving through the winter.
You haven't used this in how many years?
So it's
How do you know it's not
sealed,
gonna
it's
hurt?
not molding.
We've got insects in there. We've got a lot of mold. It's decomposing and it's contaminated.
Mark, Leah's son, is bamboozled by the fact that his mom actually wants to keep some of the garbage and decomposed food from the fridge.
Mom is wanting to keep some of the food and some of the containers that's in that freezer. It's mind-boggling. I'm a little concerned. Is that the beginning of dementia creeping in?
Ken gives the order for the freezer to be cleaned out. Why not destroyed?
Do you give permission for Corey's team to get rid of this?
Yes.
Okay.
The cleaning crew managed to declutter Leah's home, and Leah still feels sad despite the amazing job from Corey and his team.
We've now finished everything, and we're going to bring the family in to see the newly decluttered home. Leah, how you feeling? Give us one positive.
There's lots of room.
And you got your walker in here.
Yeah.
The entire family shares some laughs as they are relieved to finally have a safe place to live.
I can't tell you how relieved we are that they now have a safe place to live.
All of you can now spend time in this newly decluttered home.
£1 million of hoard? No words. Dennis is a retired architect and is forced to agree that he is a hoarder. He literally has items stacked that touch the ceiling.
I'm Dennis, and I am a retired architect. I've never thought of myself as a hoarder, but I'm hoarding, I know that. I've got hallways that are crowded to the point where you can barely walk through.
Lumber, scrap metal, even wheelchairs? At least he agrees he is a hoarder. Baby steps, right? He even has 5 motorhomes full of hoard? Dennis, sir, you have bested my expectations.
There's a lot of lumber here. There are scrap metals, multiple wheelchairs, 5 motorhomes, which are stuff, what I've referred to as snack vans or bread trucks, over a dozen cars, including classic cars.
Dennis reveals he has to help his wife with almost all her activities, and the hoard isn't making things any better. The hoard really is ridiculous.
At this point in time, I need to help my wife with almost every life activity. It actually has become very difficult to get my wife from the bed to the living room space. Okay, stand up until I get you there. I'm going to have to acknowledge that this is probably not a safe environment for even an able-bodied person.
Matt Paxton, an extreme cleaning specialist, arrives with a dozen extra pair of hands to help Dennis take care of his mess. They expect the cleaning to be done in 3 days? Just 3 days? No way.
I'm Matt Paxton. I'm an extreme cleaning specialist.
Absolutely. How much of a blessing I feel this is.
Well, let's talk in 3 days.
I
but
appreciate it.
We still have 2 whole days. Between inside and outside, we're taking about 10,000 pounds an hour. And we're still just kind of barely making a dent in this property.
Matt reveals they cleaned up 500 tons of hoard, and they didn't even finish. The house looks almost unrecognizable. Matt and his crew left everybody absolutely stunned.
We cleaned a lot of trash out, over 500 tons, which is 1 million pounds. That's an enormous amount of weight. We didn't finish, but we did a good job. But the house looks great. I mean, I'm really pleased the family can now finally go in and live in this house. Inside was dangerous, outside was dangerous, there were fines, and we were able to handle all of those. What we have achieved is they have options, the county's gonna work with them, and they're gonna be able to make really good long-term decisions for both of them. This was a win.
Thank you.
So you can see the house has been emptied of a few things, as you can see. It's been thoroughly cleaned. We've got a new couch. We've got new tables. We cleaned out the bedroom.